Well, first of all, I must say that the fellow dragons, the people that I'm sitting with, have done an amazing job of welcoming me. Laurie is gone with, there's health reasons for his departure.
Lawrence, you mean?
Yeah, Lawrence, it's part of what they call Laurie, but Lawrence is gone for health reasons, and so it's an honor for me to be sitting in his chair. I mean, it's the guy's an icon of Canadian industry, and so to be asked to fill in behind him is some pretty big shoes to fill. But secondly, the other dragons could not have made me feel more welcome. They've been a treat to deal with, and then the real pleasure ranges from Anne to Michelle and Lisa and Tracy and Molly and on and on and on. The crew that we've been working with, Stuart Cox, his whole gang. It's just an absolute delight to deal with. They're very professional. They tolerate 5 dragons with their blackberries on constantly, and because of course we have to turn them off for shooting.
Yeah, right,
so there's constantly blackberries off is one of the signals that they have to give for the, and then they start their countdown 10, 9, 8. But it's been demanding. We just finished shooting for 8 days. We start at 7 a.m. as my makeup call, and let's be clear, I've never had a makeup call before this week, so that's all new to me. And so makeup, then wardrobe, and then microphone, and then we're on studio. And we go basically from 8 o'clock in the morning till somewhere between 5 and 6 every night. And thus far we've seen, I think it's, let me check the actual numbers.
Check the book, go.
This is my book. 121 deals that we've looked at so far. Yeah. And let's just say that I'm told that we've already achieved a new record for deals done relative to last year. We've still got 5 more days of shooting. So there's been the quality of the deals, for me it's been great. But I'm told by the others that the quality of the deals has improved. And again, that's just the nature of the communities across Canada realizing that this show has a role and an opportunity to present. And so the quality of the opportunities is better. Well, let me share a little bit about what I'm looking for when I start to query where the entrepreneur is. I'm not interested in anyone else's views on the business of the entrepreneur. I'm not interested in anyone's views except the entrepreneur, because that's who I'm investing in. So I'm interested in the fact that they know the business that they're investing in, and as I ask questions, it's okay to say I don't know. It's not okay to throw an answer at me that's half cooked or half baked. So what that really means is that I'm really pushing to see how much capital, how much sweat equity, and how much knowledge the entrepreneur has of the business that they're in. The market, production, proprietary intellectual property. I need to understand that they understand their business. I'm not as concerned at the first level of what their business is, because what I've discovered over time is that smart, honest people will make money in almost any business, whether it's garbage or high technology. I don't much care. Whereas if I first of all try to focus on my knowledge of the business that they're going into, and then secondarily focus on the entrepreneur, I make a mistake quite often. So I need to know that the person running the business knows the business that they're in.
So your focus is on the people first and their insight in that case, that business. But that business may change. So it's not the business, but the entrepreneur.
Yeah, whether, for example, someone's got a concept, whether we license it, franchise it, or do it as corporate stores or in the restaurant world, I don't care. Bright people will make the right decision. So I'm not going to second guess now what the decision is for 6 months from now. But I want to know that that person understands the options, is open to all the options, and realizes the consequences financially in terms of time and people and management, product, distribution, of what those options are. But we don't need to second guess what the decisions are now of what they're going to do down the road. So as I say, it's really you're investing in people. The idea in the business has to have merit. I'm not discarding that at all. But if the person doesn't interest me, then I've got no interest in the business.
Right. So some of the bad ones would be, I guess they just focus so much on telling you the business and without
understanding. Well, not so much that, but sometimes they just don't listen. They've got an idea. Sometimes they come in with delusions of what value might be. They've got a concept and they say they want $1 million value because the market's so large. And I can't tell you how many times we've heard people say, yeah, but the U.S. market is, I don't care how big the U.S. market is. The gap between that person and the U.S. market is huge.
Yeah.
You know, getting to it requires capital and time and resourcefulness. So I can't tell you how many times people have said, if we just get 1% of the market.
Yeah.
Well, 1% of the market's not available to the 30 million people that are chasing it. If every Canadian was to say, well, I'll just take 1% of the baby food market or 1% of any chosen market. The competition for that 1% is enormous, and people underestimate that.
Right.
Yeah, but just 1%.
Yeah, and sometimes that will set you in like the mindset, right? Like give you a red flag, right? If someone gives you that pitch.
If all they want to tell me is how big the market appears to be, without telling me how they're going to get to that market, and that's the gap. Because the reality is, I mean, some businesses would be successful with 1/1,000,000th of the market. You know, a corner grocery store is selling 1/1,000,000th of the food that's sold across Canada. You know, that's a market. So why people have believed for any reason that 1% of the market is achievable is beyond me. So it's in fact, it's one of the great fallacies of looking at the market that you're in and trying to believe that you can. I mean, sure, the market's there, and sure, 1% sounds like it's achievable, but there's a gap. The gap is huge in most cases.